Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your daily update on what the bloody hell is going on with our football club. Chelsea are yet to appoint a brand new manager. Yesterday, I was buying into all of these ideas that it could be Ruben Amorim, a manager that excites me, gets you off your feet, doing bits in Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. Today, we're going to talk about another one of my favourites who randomly, Jose Mourinho is back in one of the names that could potentially be the fourth candidate. The odds for Mourinho to become Chelsea manager were dramatically slashed. I don't know if this is just betting companies just trying to get the most that they can out of people's interest in this Chelsea managerial debacle. It might be, but you never know. It's a mystery candidate. We talked about it yesterday being a high-profile name. Before we get into the news today, because we've got some very exciting transfer news, and we've also got some managerial jigsaw pieces to kind of identify and piece together here. Before we get into that, please smack a like on this video, you bunch of legends, and subscribe to the George Benson football channel so that you don't miss any of the news as it drops. We are going to begin by talking a little bit about Roberto De Zerbi. He's a manager that, to be quite honest, I'm so on the fence with this guy, I might as well be a gnome. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Roberto De Zerbi could be a very exciting manager, but on the same token, I think he's combustible. Some of the defeats that he had this season with Brighton, I think he got battered 3-0 or more about 8 times, which is not good. His teams concede loads of chances, concede a load of goals. And according to Matt Law, Roberto De Zerbi yet to be ruled out by Chelsea as club work through the four-man shortlist of candidates to succeed Mauricio Pochettino. So this is interesting here because I certainly feel as though Amorim could be one, and until Sporting play their final game, I don't think we'll know much about that. But I find this whole four-man shortlist thing, the longer time goes on, I find it odd. I think maybe Thomas Frank isn't actually involved in that four-man shortlist. It could be Maresca, Kieran McKenna, who we're going to move to talk about now, because Kieran McKenna is supposedly waiting on Manchester United before making a decision on his next move, with Erik ten Hag expecting to be sacked after Saturday's FA Cup final. Imagine that. You go into an FA Cup final, but you pretty much know that the writing is on the wall when you come out of it. I think Man United get beat today, unless the Man City hangover is still massive. And I think if Erik ten Hag is sacked, not only is it good for Chelsea because it means they probably lose the FA Cup final, which means we get Europa League. There might be a second video out on the channel later on this evening to celebrate that fact if Man City win. But at the same time, I think if Kieran McKenna then goes to Manchester United, there is a world here where it could still be Pochettino going to Manchester United because Vincent Kompany to Bayern is now pretty much nailed on. And I think Pochettino would not mind sticking in the Premier League and going straight back into work. I think this whole exercise at Chelsea for him could actually just be a warm-up for a bigger project for him at Manchester United. So Kieran McKenna would probably want the Manchester United job. He's worked there before under Jose Mourinho. And he's also a Manchester United fan. And when you start adding all of these like little side dishes to the Kieran McKenna story, the melting pot doesn't seem so tasty. And I think obviously at the moment, there's a lot of discussions about whether or not this fourth candidate is the guaranteed one that Chelsea are going to get. And I think with De Zerbi, the fact that the compensation package would only be 5 million, it would have been 15 million to get Roberto De Zerbi to become the Chelsea manager if he was still employed by Brighton, but obviously he's left. So, Kieran McKenna to Manchester United, that takes one name out. And who is that fourth man? Jose Mourinho, those odds were slashed. A lot of people don't want to see Mourinho anywhere near Chelsea Football Club again. Look, I just find it amazing. I just love the man. I'd love to see him back in the dugout, but is it a good idea? It doesn't fit what we have been told by these new owners that we want. Alex Goldberg says here, the media says the four-man shortlist is probably McKenna, Maresca, Frank and De Zerbi. I believe the four-man shortlist is Amorim, McKenna, Maresca and De Zerbi. I absolutely agree with Alex Goldberg in this case. Let me know in the comments down below. It's probably the same as what you guys commented yesterday, but what is your update? Who do you want? Have you been doing more research? Let me know in the comments down below. We move into some more exciting potential transfer news. This is an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano. Young Nigerian striker Ibrahim Hafiz Umar, 18 years old, on the verge of joining Chelsea after very positive trial with the academy. Chelsea are closing in on deal with Ojudu City Academy to decide whether they want to loan Hafiz to Strasbourg or sign him for Chelsea. Again, this isn't really the caliber of striker that we were hoping to see Chelsea signing in this summer, but I think once the manager situation is finalised, I think we'll get a better idea as to what that transfer business is going to look like. But once again, Chelsea doing work, signing young talents for the academy. We move into a very, very exciting story regarding Crystal Palace's Michael Olise, the French right winger. What a season he had. Considering he wasn't fit for the majority of the season, I think he only played like 20 games or 24 games or whatever. The return from Olise is incredible. This guy is the real deal. Chelsea and Manchester United are the two clubs pushing for Michael Olise, one to watch in the summer. If Chelsea sign Olise, look, the right-hand side of the pitch, adding Esteval Willian, and we spoke about him yesterday, he's going to be joining in January next year. I think when you look at that right-hand side, the amount of talent that we're going to have is insane. But just the way that Olise has been so direct this season, shooting from outside the area, scoring goals, getting assists, he's become such a key player in that Palace team under Oliver Glasner. But as well as that, he's become one of the leading Premier League players. When it comes to that quality, that ability, he's got the dead ball quality as well. And I just think, right, imagine in front of Caicedo and Gallagher, Caicedo and Enzo, whoever it is in the midfield, Michael Olise on the right, Cole Palmer in the middle, Christopher Nkunku out left, and Nicholas Jackson or a top striker up front. That is an absolutely scintillating looking Chelsea front line. I think Michael Olise is absolutely a player that no matter who you've got in your squad, you're breaking the bank to bring this guy in. And I do think it could have a knock-on effect on some other players. I think Noni Madueke has become a really good player for us. Towards the end of last season, he absolutely started to shine. And I do wonder what it would mean to a Noni. Would he have to potentially move over to the left? If it's De Zerbi that comes into Chelsea, will he get the best again out of Mudryk? All of a sudden, what we've been wanting over the recent years for Chelsea is to have multiple players in each position that can do a job. And the right-hand side would be so stacked, players will probably have to start moving over to the left. But when a player like Olise is available, you absolutely cannot turn your nose up at it. 60 million is the reported fee that Chelsea would have to pay. And to be honest, I don't think this is outrageous. If you look at the returns that he's had for Palace, you look at how key of a player he's become, I think 60 million for a potentially world-class footballer is exactly where Chelsea need to be. So, Roberto De Zerbi is the current name on everybody's lips. Yesterday, it was Ruben Amorim. At the end of this weekend, moving into the start of next week, I think we're going to get a better understanding and a better idea as to what is going to happen. It's going to be an exciting pre-season. I think any manager who comes in now, we've got to get excited. When you think about the ending to this season, yes, a lot of that was orchestrated by Maurizio Pochettino, but when you look at the team at the end of this season, we've not looked this much like a team, galvanised, a one-team unit. We've not looked like this for over 2 years. Since we won the Champions League, Chelsea looked the most like a team at the end of this season. Get the manager in as soon as we possibly can. You've got the Euros. There's not going to be much time to work with the players, but don't change too much. I think we're going to be signing quite a few players this summer, but I also think a lot of players are going to be leaving Chelsea. The rumours still very heavily suggest that Gallagher's going to be going, Trevor Chalobah also going to be leaving the club. So we're going to need replacements in those positions. You've got Romeo Lavia to come back. It is a very exciting time indeed to be a Chelsea fan. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on Michael Olise. Do you think we need him? Do you want Chelsea to sign him? I think we've got to be all over this one. He's too good to turn our nose up at, and I don't want to see him at Manchester United. Let me know your thoughts on Roberto De Zerbi. I just there's something about him that just makes me feel as though it wouldn't work at Chelsea. I don't think he's defensively astute enough as a tactician. I think he's limited as a football manager. Could get us playing some good stuff. I think we'd score a load of goals. And maybe being at a club like Chelsea where we're not just looking to sell everybody, and it's not going to be like we're not a selling club like Brighton where he has to lose his best players and then rejig things and adjust things to get it back to where it was. It wouldn't be like that at Chelsea, so maybe it works. I don't know. There's a lot of questions right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have a wonderful Saturday, and I might see you guys later for another video after the cup final, or if I don't see you then, I'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Blues.